My name is Kristen Baumgartner, and I'm with BOM Computer Consulting. Today, I will be reviewing the Bill of Materials module for Sage 100. BOM Computer Consulting has been selling and implementing Sage products for over 30 years and is one of the top Sage 100 solution providers in the country. We are dedicated to helping our clients continuously improve and have industry expertise that comes from years of experience and real-world knowledge. In today's presentation, I'll be reviewing what the Bill of Materials module is used for, the main data stored in the module, the main transactions processed in BOM, and reviewing BOM inquiries and reports. Bill of Materials is primarily used for the BOM maintenance, which includes, but is not limited to, bill numbers, description, type of BOM, revisions, and components required for the parent item. Bill of Materials production entries and disassembly entries can be entered, along with running the cost roll-up register. BOM inquiries and reports can also be found here. The transactions processed in Bill of Materials roll up to the inventory and general ledger modules. BOM is an optional Sage module, and customers who are currently assembling or producing finished goods may use Bill of Materials with Sage Production Management, Sage Operations Management, or as a standalone module. Let's take a look at Bill of Material in our Sage environment. On the left-hand side of my screen are the modules that I have access to based on my security permissions. In Bill of Materials, we'll start with our Bill of Materials maintenance. Information for each bill is divided into two parts. The first part consists of header information, such as the bill description and bill type. The second part consists of component line items, miscellaneous charge codes, and comment lines. There are 5 fundamental bill types that are supported: standard, engineering, inactive, kit, and phantom. The selected bill type depends on how the bill is used. As we can see, standard, kit, inactive, and engineering are currently displaying because this bill has already been established. A phantom bill is established when initially creating the Bill of Materials. A standard bill is an actual finished product or assembly for an inventory item. A kit is a group of inventory items commonly sold as a single unit. A phantom bill is a non-stocked assembly. Inactive is used if an item is not currently being manufactured, can also be used when building the bill of material and it's not finalized, or when replaced by another bill of material, or when the parent item it defines is no longer needed. Engineering is a bill that might still be in its design phase. In the example we're reviewing, we can see there is a drawing number and a drawing revision that can be used. There's also a routing number field. Routing can be used with the legacy Sage work order module. And if work order is not integrated or active, it can also be used as a comment field. We are able to establish a bill of material revision number, and we can also determine things like a yield percentage and if our bill has options. In another example, when a bill has options, this checkbox will be enabled. On the right-hand side of my screen, you can see the option categories established for this particular bill of materials. We can choose whether options are required or they are not required based on these selections. And under our More tab, we can look at these option categories and define them. When we look at an option category, this category can have, again, additional description. It can house an optional price and additional costs that would be associated for this bill. And if additional components are required, on the Lines tab, we can see those additional components that might be required for this particular option. In Bill of Materials, you have a maximum of 9 option categories. In our bill, as we've reviewed our header information, we also have a Lines tab here, which shows us the necessary components required and the quantities required to build one finished good item. These lines can be inventory items along with miscellaneous charges or miscellaneous items or comment codes within the definition of our bill of materials. In bill of materials, if you have enabled engineering change control in your BOM options, you will be allowed to look at change control down here, which houses 2 important aspects. There's an engineering change entry, which can be used to record engineering change notices and implement controlled changes to the bill structure between revisions of a bill. There's also a replace and delete component option. This allows you to change in mass several different bills, several different components all at the same time, instead of manually going in and changing everything one by one. Going back into our main tasks, in pick sheet printing, this allows us, based on a bill number, to create a pick sheet for employees to gather necessary components for our bill. Here, I'll be using our computer cabinet as an example, and here I'll also be entering a quantity of 4 that we would like to assemble. When I preview this pick sheet, it will show me a scaled amount based on the quantity that I added. So for the quantity of 4 that I am producing, it is showing me the necessary components on each line. It does give an area for the quantity picked to be recorded, along with if any items or lot are serialized, areas where we can record that information as well for our production entry. Once components have been gathered and the item has been assembled, we move to a production entry. In bill of materials production entry, we'll generally take the next production number. Again, I'm going to focus on that computer cabinet. I'm allowed to confirm my revision and the quantity of items that I am producing. I do have a checkbox to explode my bill of materials. I can explode for subassemblies, and this checkbox is used to do that. If you do not have any subassemblies you wish to be exploded on this particular bill, this checkbox would be cleared. Here, I am also able, on my lines, to see that item that was lot or serial. I can again confirm the quantities necessary for this quantity of 4 of my parent good item. And any items that are lot or serial will have a distribution flag. If I click on this line and use my lot serial distribution grid, I'm able to select those serial numbers that I'm using to produce these actual finished good materials. In bill of materials, we also have the ability to create a disassembly entry. This is basically reversing the process of a production entry, where we would consume our components to create our finished good item. A disassembly entry would take our finished good item and break it down to its necessary components and put those back into inventory. Whether completing a production entry or a disassembly entry, the necessary registers must be run to update our inventory on hand. After we've run our register updates, the daily transaction register is also run to update our GL. Last of our main tasks is our cost roll-up register. In using the cost roll-up register, this allows us to calculate the cost of each bill based on the cost of each component item and miscellaneous charge. As an example, we'll be taking a look at our desktop 2000 item. I'm able to establish my inventory cost type from average, last, or standard cost. I can choose an effective date that I'm targeting. And here I'm able to choose that desktop 2000. When I hit proceed, this report will advise me of any changes against my current cost versus the cost of what my components and miscellaneous charges are actually truly ringing through. Here you can see I actually have a reduction in my component cost. Here's my old standard cost, and my variance is showing that I'm actually under as my components are costing less than they used to. After reviewing this information, if you choose, you can update this cost roll-up register. If you are using standard cost for the item, it will update your standard cost. If you're using average cost, it will update the item maintenance standard field, but it will not impact the GL. If you do not wish to take the changes from the system, you can simply say no and use this report for informational purposes. In inquiries, one of the things I'd like to highlight is the where used inquiry. Using an item in my inventory as an example, this allows us to look at for this component item, a single level for all of the areas that this particular item would be used, an indented version of my BOMs, or a summarized version of my BOMs to easily determine where this component is affecting items in this finished good products within my system. In reports, common reports used by bill of materials customers are the single level bill of materials report and the indented bill of materials report. Each can be printed with its subassembly components showing. We also have a component requirement report. This is used to list the components required to make the number of items specified for each bill configuration. The report also advises you of any stock shortages. Finally, there's a bill validation report, which includes checking for bills that do not have corresponding inventory item codes, bills without components, or phantom bills not used in assemblies. This video has covered the basics of the bill of materials module. Thank you for your time today, and if you have any additional questions on Sage 100 functionality, please reach out to the Veracruz Blum Computer Consulting Team. Under bill of materials maintenance is our pick sheet printing.